Having these two muscles will make girls' panties drop. There's been no single more important factor for me to get girls than having an amazing physique, and specifically these two muscles. The same way that guys look at a girl's ass and tits to determine attractiveness beyond just her face, girls will look at these two muscles to determine attractiveness as well. So unless you want to be playing at a disadvantage, take out a pen and paper, because I'm not only going to tell you what they are, but I'm also going to tell you how to develop them after years of trial and error and struggling to build them the right way. The first muscle is so important, and it actually goes way beyond just the muscle itself. So without this, you're going to struggle to attract girls. See, after having been with tons of girls and having deep, meaningful conversations with them, there's one thing I noticed about every single girl, and that is that they are fat phobic. Now, they might not admit this if asked publicly, but it is very true, and they want their partner to be in as good of shape as they are and have a very attractive body. They don't want to be with a fat or overweight guy, hence why abs is the first muscle, and it is so important beyond just the fact that they are sexy as fuck. So how do you get abs and low enough body fat that's gonna make pussy absolutely wet? Well, there's two key factors that are gonna make this whole process of getting abs effortless for you. And the first is gonna be a calorie deficit. This is the most important thing. No matter how developed your abs are, if you are 25, 30% body fat or more, you're never gonna even know that you have abs. So this is the most important aspect, is to be low body fat. And that's kind of tying into what I was saying with girls just wanting someone who is in good shape. And then beyond that, adding the abs on top of it is just gonna make you extremely attractive. So to be low body fat, all you need to do is eat in a calorie deficit. Until you're at about 8 to 12% body fat, then you are good. You can have very visible abs in this range. That's probably what I'm at, maybe the upper range. I've been doing a little bulking lately. And in order to do this, you're just gonna need to learn the value of food in terms of the caloric value. So you need to start tracking your food. You can use MyFitnessPal or a comparable tracking app, as well as getting a weight scale. And I'd recommend eating the highest quality, most nutritious foods like raw milk, grass-fed ground beef, chicken. Those are gonna be the foods that you want, along with other healthy ones as well, to really make sure that you're fueling your body the right way and can get your protein, carb, and fat goals whilst staying in a calorie deficit. So that's what it's gonna come down to. It's really not that difficult. If you're eating in a calorie deficit, tracking your macros, and you do this on a long enough time frame, you're gonna achieve the body fat that is gonna be attractive to girls in that 8 to 12% range. And now the second thing is actually developing the abs themselves. So once you're at a low enough body fat, you're gonna be able to see the abs once you develop them. This is terrible lighting, but you can see that I have abs that are developed. So how do you actually go about developing abs? There's really not that much that you need to do. It is so easy. The body fat's the most important aspect. The second part is just gonna be making them a little bit bulky so they stand out. And that is going to be my favorite exercises are toes to bar, V-ups, and cable crunches. They're so simple. Toes to bar is gonna be the most advanced one, where you're basically hanging on a bar, you lift your legs up to it, and that's gonna be the most athletic way to train abs. The next one's gonna be the V-ups, where you just lie on the ground, you basically bring your body like this, you bring it up, and in the process, you're bringing your legs up, that trains abs. You're bringing your upper body up, that's also gonna hit the abs. So you're getting it from a multi-dimensional plane of training abs. And then the third one is the cable crunch. That's where you take a cable, you hold it up by your head, and then you crunch down. You're usually like on your knees, and you crunch down from a cable extension. And those are gonna be all great exercises. You don't really need to do anything more than that. 2 sets of these to failure for each of these exercises is more than enough. Sometimes I'll only do the toes to bar 2 sets, and that's been enough to maintain abs over years and years and years. So it's really not that difficult to actually build this muscle. It more comes down to being in the ideal body fat where they are visible. The reason you're not jacked beyond belief is because you don't have the discipline and knowledge to get there. And that all changes today, because you're gonna sign up for a free one-to-one coaching call with me. We're gonna create a personalized plan that's gonna get you into the best shape of your life and help you attract the girls of your dreams. Book that down below, the first link in the description. So now that you know how to get 6-pack abs, the worst thing in the world is being a skinny, frail guy who looks like a pencil and recovering drug addict, but just has a 6-pack and low body fat. This next muscle is what's gonna make you look like a superhero. Look at every single character in the movies, every guy that looks big. They all have massive shoulders and a V-taper. So the next muscle that you're gonna need to develop is the shoulders. But before I tell you how to develop it, let me tell you how girls react to it. Girls love big shoulders. This is a fact. The amount of times I've had girls feel my shoulders in the club when we're dancing or whatever, they always are touching my shoulders. The amount of times is crazy. So that's the next thing that you're gonna want to develop if you want to look like an actual superhero. There's two things you need to do in order to build superhero shoulders. So let's dive into the first one, which is going to be progressively overloading a shoulder press. Now, which one do you use specifically? It doesn't matter whether you want to use the barbell, the dumbbell, seated, standing, as long as you're getting stronger consistently on a compound shoulder press movement, you will have big shoulders. You want to get up to heavy weights in the hypertrophic rep range, which is anywhere from 6 to up to 15 reps. And if you do that, you are on your way to develop big shoulders. Now, the second thing you need to do is you need to really make sure you hit isolation for the side and rear delt, because the shoulder press is going to be mostly focusing on the front delt and the side delt, but it's going to leave out the rear delt a little bit, and the side delt could always use a little bit of extra stimulus to make sure you're fully hitting that muscle. So that takes us to the second point, which is going to be adding isolation exercises to your side and rear delt. And the best ones I'd recommend for the side delt are going to be any sort of lateral raises, whether that's standing, whether with a cable. If you want to use a bench to support you, I've done this many times. It can take a lot of the swing out of it and really focus on just that muscle group. It's more of a Y raise where you're coming, with your arms in front of your body a little bit. It's great for hitting that side delt. It hits even a little bit of the front delt. And now when it comes to the rear delt, this one is so important, because this is what gives your shoulder that fullness. Without it, you can kind of imagine it would look kind of like this, where there's no big kind of like a ball look to it. You want that. You want it to look so full and round, and the rear delt is what really allows that to happen. So you're going to want to make sure that you're really focusing on the rear delt, doing lots of different things. Well, I'll give you some of my favorites. One of them is the cable rear delt fly. So you can just grab one cable and just go like that from the cable machine, the adjustable cable. You can just always do that one on the reverse pec deck. That's going to be a reverse fly. I would also recommend doing things on the bench. You can lean on the bench. You can use dumbbells, doing that same rear delt fly. Also, any of your rowing movements for, let's say you're doing a barbell row or pull-ups, is going to hit these. So you're going to hit them a bit. But once again, you really want to make sure you're getting that isolation in to really make sure you hit that. And you can look up, there's a bunch of different exercises, but those are my recommendations for really making sure that you're hitting them on a consistent basis and allowing them to grow equivalently with the front and side so that you have that full shoulder look. It's so important that you really prioritize your shoulder above all other muscles, because this is really what's going to make your physique pop. And if you got any value from this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. On here, I'm going to be teaching you how to become the absolute best version of yourself. And don't miss out on the chance to book a free one-on-one coaching call with me so you can develop the superhero physique that attracts every single girl. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.